But that's what's going on in the world of TV, film, and gaming today. So now for our question of the day. Since our top story of the day had to deal with a boxing movie with Anthony Hopkins set to play Cus D'Amato in a movie about Cus D'Amato grooming Mike Tyson to be the future heavyweight and the most ferocious fighter, I thought it'd be kind of fun to ask a question in regards to boxing movies. Now, this isn't for everybody. Maybe it's just for a few of you out there. But here's the question. What movies should be made about other boxers? Okay? So I want you to think about that for a moment. Of course, we've had plenty of movies made about Muhammad Ali. Why not? Because he's Muhammad Ali. And of course, you have to talk about Joe Frazier because he's linked with Muhammad Ali. We've had great boxing movies before, with Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone, a couple of years ago. We had a great one with Vinny Paz. That was cool. Cinderella Man, which is my all-time favorite boxing movie outside of the Rocky movies, which is about 1930s champion Irish boxer James Braddock, who Joe Louis once said was the most courageous boxer he ever faced. We've had that one. Of course, you've got the Rocky movies. But when it comes to real-life boxers, what other movies can we make? Yeah, we had a movie about Joe Louis and Max Schmeling facing off against each other. I think we even had one where Jon Favreau played a young Rocky Marciano. And let's not forget one of the most popular boxer movies of all time, one of the truly greats, Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull, where Robert De Niro played Jake LaMotte. So, who's next? There's so many other, great boxers out there. Of course we're going to do movies about Mike Tyson. I mean, still, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is one of the great all-time, boxing games. But there's so many different boxers that have come and gone that have had interesting careers. Tommy Morrison, not only became truly popular through pop culture because he was in Rocky V, but because he was the first boxer to be diagnosed with HIV and have to quit. And, this is a guy who probably should have been champion a lot longer than he should, and he just couldn't get out of his own way. We've never really done a movie about Floyd Patterson. We've never done a movie about Sonny Liston, who was one of the most, the darkest characters in the boxing world. There was a great documentary that came out on Showtime this past year, or in 2019, and loved it. But I'm kind of surprised that we haven't, done a movie about him. George Foreman, I mean, is that not a great story? His rise to become a champion, to take down Joe Louis, then to lose it to Muhammad Ali. And then to become champion nearly 20 years later when he's pushing 40, who could still hit and, was overweight. I just think there's so many other boxers out there that have great stories too. Was it Bernard Hopkins? And I apologize if I'm getting that wrong, who, served, or Martin Hagler, one of them who served 5 years in prison before he got to become a boxer. Yes, we had The Fighter, with Mark Wahlberg and, Christian Bale. Wahlberg played Mickey Ward. That was a fantastic movie. But I say this, why not Evander Holyfield? Evander Holyfield has such an interesting story. I mean, he won in different classes. Again, Floyd Patterson, was he really that good of a boxer? He was kind of a people's champion, but then he lost horrifically twice to Sonny Liston. And we never talk about Rocky Marciano as much anymore. I mean, yes, he gets linked in pop culture because of the fictional character Rocky and how he is portrayed. That he is basically another version of Rocky Marciano. And don't get me wrong, that's great. But why not revisit that? This was a fighter who truly went undefeated. Nobody ever beat. He retired at 49-0. And unlike Floyd Mayweather, who basically dodged boxers when they were in their prime and fought them later when he knew he could win, he actually fought tough guys. So I'm just, I'm saying there's so many other boxers out there. Who do we make a movie about next? Who is interesting enough to make a movie about next? That fits, that would, in pop culture. I'm still, who? I just think there's a lot more boxers out there, especially if you want to go all the way back to the early 20th century with like maybe John Sullivan. So it's hard, I get it. It's hard to get past Muhammad Ali, when you're doing a movie about boxers. He is the greatest. He's the greatest because of who he was, because of how he marketed himself. He was also the loudest. And yes, he was a great fighter. No doubt about it. Even though he lost 4 years of his life, having to give up, the title because he wouldn't serve in the military on religious grounds to go fight Vietnam. And we've made movies about that court case. So I say, who's next? Let's find another great boxer that we can do a movie about. Maybe someone that's a little bit closer to, now. Again, I still think the Tommy Morrison, a movie about him would be very interesting. I mean, there's a great 30 for 30 documentary about Tommy Morrison, and he is such a tragic boxer. He should get, we should get more of a movie about him than, his role in Rocky V. And he was great in Rocky V, even though it was a terrible movie. I'm not denying that. But I'd like to hear from everybody. I mean, we would like to hear from you. What other boxers should we make a movie about? I still think we should do another Rocky Marciano movie. It's about time. Or even revisit Joe Louis again. I mean, I'd take a reboot of the Joe Louis and Max Schmeling fight. Yes, we can always come up with movies about fictional characters. Nobody denies that $1 Million Baby is such a fantastic movie. And again, like I said, Cinderella Man is one of my all-time favorites, but it's about a real boxer that most people don't remember. There's got to be somebody out there that we can make a movie about. So, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us a boxer that you'd like to see a movie made about. You can tweet us out on our Twitter account @ThatNerdShow. Send us your answer. I'm Marcus Blake with That Nerd Show, and this has been your daily nerd news for February 20th, 2020. Until the next time, goodbye. Hello there, fellow nerds. I'm Marcus Blake, the editor and producer of That Nerd Show, and we need your help. That's right, we need your support. Like any news outlet, we rely on advertising and donations to keep the lights on. To be the greatest show in this universe, we need funding, and that's where you come in. Like most artists out there, we actually have a Patreon account, and we're asking for donations. But we're not just asking for you to give us money. We actually have stuff that we're going to be giving away if you donate. So we'll be uploading more and more videos to our Patreon account from YouTube, from our daily news to interviews with celebrities to gaming videos and all of our other individual shows that we are doing here in 2020. But to keep us going, we need a little bit of funding. And again, that's where you come in. So it can be as little as $1. $1 makes all the difference in the world. And you can do anywhere from $1 to $3 to $5, all the way up to $500. And we're going to be giving stuff away for your donations. So you can get some Nerd Power wristbands or any other wristbands from our series of wristbands that we're creating for nerds. You can get cool retro gaming t-shirts from our Nerd Swag shop if you make a donation of $20 or more. You can even get advertising on our website or within our videos if you if you make a purchase or donate $50 or more. We have different tiers, like most artists. Want that new video game that's coming out this year? You want to be playing the same video game we are as we're reviewing it? Hey, you can do that with a $100 donation. Are you looking to get a new console before the year is out? Hey, $500 and you can get an Xbox One, a PlayStation 4, or even a Nintendo Switch. It just takes a little bit to help us. As little as $1 per video that we do. And we're going to have a variety of videos that you can help support. So if you like our content, if you like everything that we do as nerds, from honest conversations about pop culture to great celebrity interviews to wacky and fun gaming videos, then help support us on our Patreon account. You can check us out at patreon.com/thatnerdshow. You can check us out at patreon.com/that. Go to patreon.com/thatnerdshow and make your donation today. Even if it's just $1, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, and stay nerdy.